This is the intro video for Algebra 1, Section 6.3. And if you remember in Section 6.2, we talked about how to factor trinomials. And with those trinomials we looked at in Section 6.2, in each case, the a value, the coefficient on the x squared, was always 1, or it was something we could easily get to 1. In 6.3, we're going to look at situations where the a value is not 1, and we're going to be looking at a method to do this. There are other methods, and if you're struggling and need maybe some extra help, then I'd be happy to show you some other methods. We're going to be focusing on a method that over the years I've seen most students retain. Like I said, there are others, and if we need to, we can look at those as well. We're just going to focus on one right now. All right, so we're going to do one example here in our video, and it's number 1 right here. The method the name we're going to give this method is called splitting the b. Splitting the b. So here are the steps. We're going to work to identify the a, b, and c. So for our example here, the a would be 6, the b would be 7, and the c is -5. So we always want to correctly identify those, and if it's written in descending order, that's pretty easy to see. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to find what I'm calling the key number. And the key number is a times c. So a times c is 6 times -5. So I'd say a times c is -30. What we're going to do is we're going to use that diamond that we did in section 6.2 to help us with this for step 3. Step 3 is find the factors of a times c that add up to be the b. So in my diamond, I'm going to put the -30 up here, and I'm going to put the b down here, the 7. So this AC is in the top, the b is in the bottom. And I'm going to ask myself what numbers multiply to be -30 and add up to be 7. Oh, it takes a little bit of thinking here, understanding some multiplication. I'm hoping that you guys are thinking of 10 and -3. 10 times -3 is 30. 10 plus -3 is 7. Okay, so we use our little diamond to do that. Now what we're going to do is we are going to split the b using the factors that we just found. So it's going to look like this. 6x squared remains, but then the b used to be 7, and so instead of writing 7x, I'm going to put plus 10x minus 3x minus 5. Okay, and then the way we split the b, right? We split it up into a strategic 10x minus 3x. We haven't changed the value of anything, we've just changed the form a little bit. So to finish this, we're going to factor the GCF twice. So to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to group the first 2 terms, and give myself just a little bit more room here. I'm going to group the first 2 terms, and I'm going to group the second 2 terms and put a plus sign in between. And then I'm going to factor. So in this first grouping, I'm going to factor out the GCF. I'm going to factor out what's in common. So what's in common here is an x, of course. We can see that both terms have an x. And between the 6 and the 10, I think we have a 2 that's in common. So I'm going to factor out a 2x. So it's going to look like, actually I'll just use this space over here. It's going to look like this. 2x times 3x plus 5. So that is just the GCF factored out of that first term. So I need to put my plus sign. When we look at the second term. The second term, or the second grouping, I should say, is -3x minus 5. So I need to factor out of that as well. And I want it to match. I want the result to match what I have in that first one. So the first one resulted in 3x plus 5 for the leftover expression. So I need to factor a minus sign out of this. So I'm going to factor out a negative, or a -1 technically, and that'll just effectively change the signs inside. So -1 parentheses 3x plus 5. Now I'll come down here and finish this off. Now we see that we've got 2 terms. One is right here, and the other one is right there. And both terms have a 3x plus 5. So what I can do is factor that out. So I'm going to write the 3x plus 5 out here. And then the leftovers, well, if I take a 3x plus 5 and factor it out, I have a 2x left over and a -1 left over. So it would be 2x minus 1. Of course, just like we did in 6.2, you can always check these by foiling. and see if you get what you started with after you check. This I believe is, I don't think I've made any mistakes here. This is the factoring for this. And like I said, if that went well for you, that's great. If you want to see different methods, come visit with me and be happy to show you some other methods that work as well. All right, so when you get to class, we'll do some more practicing with this, and I'll see you then.